Hello everyone, it's Old Guardian here. One of the news we have about Descent of Dragons from BlizzCon is that people who have the BlizzCon virtual ticket are going to get a golden copy of this neutral legendary Sathrovarr for free. However, it was also announced on Reddit that everyone is going to get the regular copy for free. So this will be available to all players when Descent of Dragons comes, and it's an interesting legendary. 9 mana 5/5 demon with a battle cry, choose a friendly minion, add a copy of your hand, deck and battlefield. Well, that's a lot of copies, but how can we make use of this? Obviously it would be sweet if we could get something to stick on the board and then we just use this and we make copies and okay, sweet. But realistically we have to assume that nothing is going to stick, and we would have to play something alongside this. Well, this one costs 9 mana, so there's only up to 1 mana left. So what can we play alongside this? We would have to make either this cheaper or the other card cheaper. Some kind of mana cheating has to be involved. And actually looking at the cards currently in standard format, this can be used in tons of ways. Most of them pretty bad, but I have a couple of good ideas, and I will also show you a bunch of bad ideas in this video. First of all, we could draw something with Geppetto. Battlecry, draw 2 minions from your deck, set their attack, health and cost to 1. So Geppetto, draw 1 cost minion, Sathrovarr, sweet. And if you draw Sathrovarr with Geppetto, then you can play the other one as a full cost minion. Okay, that's pretty sweet but extremely unreliable. Then there are minions that become cheaper when certain conditions are met, like Rebel Bouncer. But if you face a full board and you make a couple of Rebel Bouncers, that's not very impressive, so these are not that great. Well, Sathrovarr is a demon, so we would like to put it in a Warlock deck. And if we put it in a Warlock deck, then like we could summon a bunch of Jumbo Imps for a big tempo swing. Probably not that awesome. Then there's a slightly more workable solution with Supreme Archaeology, because then you get Toe of Origination and you can tap for cards that will cost 0. And combine that with Plot Twist, you can put stuff into your deck, and Sathrovarr can cost 0, its target can cost 0. But on the other hand, this is just an even more complicated way of doing things that the Mogu Cultist, the Highkeeper Ra Warlock is already kind of doing in a semi-complicated way. So that doesn't sound too great either. Then we could put Sathrovarr into Shaman. Mogu Flesh Shaper can be cheap, we can make multiple Mogu Flesh Shapers. Sathrovarr Battlecry is going to be duplicated by Shudderwock, so if we have something on the board then we can get some copies of that. But Shaman is pretty aggressive, so why would Shaman want a 9 mana Sathrovarr? Probably that one's not going to work out either. Then there is Rogue, and Rogue has tons of ways to activate Sathrovarr. You could use like Gurubashi Hypemon, you could use Anga the Buried, then you could even get a death rattle minion of your choice. You could use Academic Espionage and rely on randomness. One of those cards is probably going to be a minion, and then you can copy it. But Rogue probably doesn't want to do that. Why don't they just play like Tempo Rogue and kill people? But trust me, it gets a little bit better. At least a little. So, Mage. Luna's Pocket Galaxy. I wish it cost 5 mana still. It actually costs 7. Anyway, change the cost of minions in your deck to 1. So you change the cost of minions in your deck to 1. Sathrovarr might cost 1, some other minion might cost 1. Alright? Here you might actually already kind of do something. This Pocket Galaxy synergy is reasonable, although probably still too weak. But what about Paladin? Paladin can make Shirvala the Tiger cost 0, and then you can play Shirvala, and you can Sathrovarr your Shirvala, which means that you have another Shirvala on the board, and you have yet another free Shirvala in hand, and then you still have a Shirvala in deck as well. And this is slightly more interesting. Although probably you would just want to play Holy Wrath with all this stuff, but would it be possible to use Sathrovarr in a Holy Wrath Paladin? Because then you make so many copies of your Shirvala that you still have all the options open. And you can heal a ton and remove stuff from the board. And you might even just win the game with those Shirvalas. That might already be semi-decent. Or we could use Sathrovarr in Priest. Grave Horror will cost 0, then we make a Sathrovarr copy of that Grave Horror, and we get a copy in hand and a copy in deck, and then we could play Princess Talanji at some point, and it would summon those Grave Horrors. Or we might be able to do some kind of Spirit of the Dead play. This might be some kind of Talanji style control priest deck into this. Although probably not. But then we come to the one class that has the most ways by far to use Sathrovarr, and that's Druid. Because, well, Mulch Muncher is a thing. Probably not good enough of a thing for Sathrovarr. You probably don't want Sathrovarr in a deck where you run Mulch Muncher. But Dream Petal Florist. At the end of your turn, reduce the cost of a random minion in your hand by 7. So that would mean that you can play Sathrovarr together with an 8-drop. Alright, that might work out. Then there's also Zephrys. So you could play Zephrys, and then you could Innerate Sathrovarr. And then you will have another Zephrys in hand and another Zephrys in deck. And you will have another Zephrys in play, although that doesn't actually do anything. But okay, maybe there's something to that. Or is there something even better? Actually, the best synergy that I can think of with Sathrovarr would be Lucent Bark Druid, which unfortunately is pretty bad, but this could be like a fun meme style deck, because you could totally have Lucent Bark on the board. Lucent Bark is dead, then you Crystal Power, Lucent Bark comes back to life, then you can Sathrovarr, so that you get another Lucent Bark on the board, you get another Lucent Bark in hand, and you get yet another Lucent Bark into your deck. And also in Lucent Bark Druid you probably want to run stuff like Choose Psych Melon, and you don't have a lot of 9-drops in that deck, so Choose Psych Melon could tutor your Sathrovarr at the same time when it tutors your Lucent Bark. So I actually think that's a pretty fun and well-functional synergy, although for an archetype that's probably just too weak. We still haven't seen nearly all of the cards, so there can be a lot of stuff that can work with Sathrovarr in the future. And I mean, this sort of card that just gives you tons of copies of a card, it can be very useful. But at 9 mana it's very, very difficult to use. So I don't really expect it to be a thing, but it's just another one of these cards that you have to remember and have to think of when new cards come out and you think, okay, is there something that I could do with this one? And I would like to play that Sathrovarr Lucent Bark Druid, if it's at all viable in the upcoming expansion. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the show, please click the like button and subscribe to my channel for more.